Okay, now we're going on to nutrition. So we have nutrition, which is an absolute minefield of bullshit, misinformation, disinformation, and every other sort of information corruption you can ever think about. People will say go organic, then most people's like, I can't afford organic, so that means I can't get fit, I can't have good nutrition. People say go vegan because meats are poisoned and they're full of antibiotics and they're full of all these. So like, okay, well, I can't eat meat. And then you go in the nutrient deficient situation. Or people say, no, go vegetarian. You can get proteins and everything else you need, and all the fats you need through vegetables. So therefore, you miss out on all this good stuff, and you end up going that stuff, and then you end up nutrient deficient. Or you say, well, go on keto diet, and then you don't realize, well, the keto diet, the origin of keto diet was to help people who had epilepsy reduce their fits. So therefore, you go on a keto diet for too long, you end up nutrient deficient. People say go on paleo diet because paleo used to be cavemen and this is how we used to eat meat, roots, things like that. Once again, we're living in 2023 or 2024 at the moment. And if you go like the cavemen, you're going to be missing in loads of nutrients. So you've got to work it wise. You've got to say to yourself, right, but in 2024, we're not Paleolithic, we're not monolithic, we're not got epilepsy, we've not got a yo-yo diet, like for example, here's a bunch of packet foods. Here's a bunch of um, shakes. Here's a bunch of everything. Try this, do this, do this, do this. High carb, low fat, high carb. It's too confusing, man. Even me as a boxing coach whose mission is to get people's weights down or get people's weights up, but maintaining their strength so they can have a boxing match. Or I've got personal training clients who want to either gain weight, lose weight, or maintain their weight. How do we do it? I don't say, here's the protein powder, here's the supplements. I say, here's the supermarket, here's the markets, here's what you have available. So I'm not going to go into recipes and all that sort of stuff right now. All I'm going to say is, all I'm going to share with you right now is the basics of what you need to understand. The body needs fats. It needs proteins. These are the most important. It needs enzymes and minerals and macronutrients, and it needs water. That's basic four things it needs. Sure, there's another thing. It needs sugar, it needs energy, it needs glucose. Where do you get these from? Meats, proteins, fats. Is that all? No. There's B, D, C, D's, and all sorts of different things in there that meat hold, which are good for your mental health. If you come on my training program, I'll explain that to you in a lot, but it's a pretty long lesson. You just need to know if you want to believe me. That's it. Meats have that in it. There's been a couple of clients who are very famous. I won't tell you who they are, but they're very famous. And they were vegetarian, vegan, and they were suffering from depression. And I managed to convince them through giving them the facts that meats have certain nutrients, macronutrients inside them that are good for your brain. They changed. We had a salad with chicken. One had a salad with fish. I didn't go all the way with her. She stuck to fish. Another one wanted to stick to chicken, organic chicken, free range organic chicken. And the next day, they both called me up, separate from years. The next day, they called me up and say, "Wow, I felt amazing. I had a great night's sleep last night, and I feel really energetic today." So therefore, for that period of time while they trained for me, they ate protein, one chicken, one fish, and their mental health problems started to go away. That's that isolated. Most of my clients do have the ability to eat meat. So if you're a vegetarian, you're vegan, I'm sorry, this is not pro you. I don't know the science of veganism or vegetarianism and those nutrients, macronutrients you get from meat. I'm not an expert in that, so please don't listen to what I'm saying. Next, you have vegetables. Vegetables are again macronutrients. They have enzymes in them, right? Enzymes aid your natural amino acids, your BCAAs, in your belly to break down food. Yeah. So the more you have of raw vegetables and salads or crunchy vegetables like steamed vegetables going into every meal, you're going to have something that will break down that food, the meat, the pastas, the rice, the potatoes, whatever you're eating with it, is going to break that down and make it available as a fuel source for your body. If you don't eat vegetables, then you're asking your amino acids in your belly and your digestive system to break down these foods, and there's not enough readily available to do it. So therefore, your body stores it and uses it later, and it turns into fat, or it turns into waste, or it just sits there and rots. I'm not going down that path right now, but you can imagine it's not the most healthy. So vegetables are probably the most. So for you vegetarians and vegans out there, I agree with you. Vegetables are very important, but they're not the source of all the nutrients your body needs. So they are accessed with meats. Now let's look at pastas, carbohydrates, pastas and rice. Let's just keep it pastas and rice and potatoes right now. Sweet potatoes, great, but again, you're looking at a carbohydrate, white potato. These pasta and rice, I would call dead food. Meat, I would call dead food. Live food, alive food is going to be your vegetables. All right. The vegetables break down these things. Carbohydrates create energy that you turn into sort of what you use to live your life. Too much carbohydrates will make you sleepy, and you just want to stop and rest while your body tries to work out how to deal with digesting so much carbs. So if I'm going to give you any advice, I would say cut down on your carbs a little bit and stick to your proteins and vegetables. You can eat as much vegetables as you want. Proteins, you can sort of eat decent quality, but you've got to be obviously not kicking the ass out of eating 2 steaks for a plate of vegetables. Your body doesn't need it. Again, it's too much food. It will take too long to break down inside your digestive system. So therefore, it will make you tired. Therefore, it'll become stored. You got to try and eat a portionable size that can be broken down between the next meal. Sugars, I'm not a big fan of processed sugar, like the white sugar and stuff like that. But again, I'm not anti it, depending on what you want to achieve, right? But too much of it is going to cause you too much high glucose spikes. Therefore, you're going to feel amazing, and then you're going to feel really shitty. Now, if we're talking about anger, we're talking about mental health. You don't want these spikes and you don't want these drops, because in these drops, that's where the negative thoughts happen. Yeah. And these highs, this is when you live in a world where you think like a kid running around the playground thinking, this is great, I love life. And then all of a sudden, need to go to bed, mum. And he's crying all the time, or she's crying all the time, right? So just you need to balance your glucose, you need to balance your intake of carbohydrates, enzymes, vegetables, and such, and proteins. Basically, that's it. So if you want to have a nice, healthy lifestyle, you got to remember this. If you eat shit, you feel like shit. That's the rule. There's no way around it. You can't go to McDonald's 3 times a week, 3 times a day, 4 times a week, and think you're going to feel great. You're not. You probably end up feeling depressed and shitty, and you didn't know why. If you're going to eat loads of processed foods and ultra processed food, like tinned food, packet food, frozen food, all of the time, you're not going to be getting the nutrients you need, because they have got so many preservatives to keep them alive inside those tins, inside those packets, inside those frozen packages. So you're going to start to feel shit. All right. Now, as I said, vegetables, if they're fresh and you can buy them on a Saturday and use them all week, that's fresh. If your meat is maybe has to be frozen because of the time it's traveled from one place to another, or you can put it in your freezer, I wouldn't regard that as a frozen meal. That's just meat that has been frozen in time, when thawed is equally as good as it was fresh. But I would say fresh is always better. So if you can do that. I don't know what all these little thumbs are and all that sort of stuff going on here in my computer. It must be something to do with Zoom. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, if you're going to be having a good nutritional plan, you're going to start to feel better, right? Now, that takes a little bit of planning and preparation, all right? It's dead easy to go to the tin, open it, eat it. So maybe you have to look at what time do you have in your week where you can prepare your meals? We'll talk about that more later. But my message here is, when it comes to nutrition, stay away from the ultra processed foods, stay away from the fast foods, stay away from these type of foods as your staple diet, and go into eating fresh and lean, fresh vegetables and lean meats, chicken, fish, and and meat. Your portion size, simple like this. If you can hold The pasta in your hand, that's your portion size. Same with rice. Like a handful of rice, which would be a cupful of rice, that's all you need. You don't need 2 cups, 3 cups, because you think, oh, I've got to fill my belly up, but you're filling your belly up full of carbohydrates, which is energy. So therefore, you're giving your body too much energy to burn. It can't burn it, so therefore it goes into a sleeping mode, and it doesn't use it as fuel. You can eat as much vegetables as you want, plates and plates of it. All you'll be doing is taking nutrients, and your body will just get rid of the rest because it's good fiber. And again, when it comes to meats, right? Again, if you can hold it in your hand, that's the portion size you need. You should be eating for fuel. So eat to get to the next meal. Eat so you can perform your tasks in the day. Eat so that you can have a healthy, energetic life. If you're eating and you're falling asleep or want to go to sleep, you're eating too much. If you're eating and you're getting hungry before the next meal, you're not either eating enough or you're eating the wrong foods. If you'd like to more, if you would like to know more about this, go to Coach Denny Denham, send me a wee message saying bend, and I'll take you on a journey of how to bend the rules. Nutrition is a very complex thing. I hope what I just taught you there is a very basic understanding of it. So if you don't come onto the training program, you're not interested in doing this sort of stuff, you can take that and always remember it. If you if you're feeling like you're sleepy after you've eaten too much. If you're hungry before the next meal, you're not eating enough or you've eaten the wrong thing. Either way, be strong and be wise.